Welcome to FUEL. FUEL stands for Finance, Unity, Empowerment, Legacy. Join Dr. Jackie, Dennis, and Matt as they start their new conversation on trust issues, part 1. Enjoy.
How do we help people with trust? So I'm gonna tell you how I do it. I know I asked it as a question. I'm gonna tell you how I do it. Teach them how to handle their own accounts. Then the only person you got to worry about trusting is yourself. How do I do that? I have classes every Sunday. I teach people how to handle their own accounts. And then I say, change your password and handle your own account.
It's once you know how.
Right. Once you know how, because the first couple of weeks, you need me to help you do things. I can go in the account, show you what to do. But without your telephone, I can't take anything off your account.
Right.
But I can show you how things work, and I can write this down. This is what step 1 is. This is what step 2. Unfortunately, everything we do got about 10 steps. That's to put the money in, and about another 8 steps to get your money out. So you got to treat people like children, or like, not like children, but you got to go step by step. Even for me, I had to go step by step. So I'm always working on ways to teach people how to do it faster, so that trust is no longer an issue. Boom, do this. Go ahead, Dr. Jack.
No, I was just going to say, so to put it into one word, you're relying on education. You teach them how to do it. So education helps people alleviate some of that, what we call, you started out with trust. Educate them.
And that's one of the things we learned when we started doing life insurance. People don't trust you, they won't buy from you. They'll buy from you if you don't understand, and they'll cancel on you if they don't understand. But if they don't trust you, they're not doing the first step.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing though, and I kind of partially agree with you guys, but before you can get the education in, there has to be an understanding that we are there to help. And I think that that's the beginning point, like when you're talking about winning one's trust. And what Dennis was talking about before you actually popped on with us, Dr. Jackie, is that, Dennis has had people that have given a Google amount of money, and he has no real relationship with them. Yet, when you have someone who's in your inner circle, they can't come off a small amount because of trust issues. And, and just to be transparent, we had someone that we were dealing with that you guys lovingly dealt with after a meeting, and you spent extra time with that individual because I asked you to, and I get an email a couple of days later saying, I don't feel comfortable about it because basically because I have trust issues. And I won't get into the full detail for recording purposes, but it's like the reason that I'm bringing this up is because I started my contact with this person by saying, hey, would you trust me with about $350? So, the answer was affirmative. So even if for some reason, which won't happen, the 350 was lost, well, where was the trust? It could not have been any trust from the beginning because, again, it was asked with the premise of you never give more than you can afford to lose.
Right. Well, the reason why I got into this actually is someone called me up and said, hey, I got this thing. As soon as they say thing, I go, oh. And say, you only got to put in 300, but, it seems to be pretty good. Not the one we're in now, but the one we're in previous. and it was somebody I trusted. So I put 1,000 in, and then I put more thousands in and more thousands, because as I learned, as I went through the education programs, I learned more about it. And I'm very glad that I went through those education programs, because now that I'm here, what I'm learning how to do is educate other people as fast as possible, because like I said, I have people who put in money who don't even know me. And then I have my friends who won't even put in $300 that know me. And that looks bad. Of course, you guys are my friends and you guys trusted me, but I'm just talking about those who, I don't know about that. They're still working. I don't work anymore. I haven't worked for 7 years because I teach people how to fire your boss. Actually, I've been doing that for 11 years, excuse me. Teach people how to fire their boss. So first boss I got to fire is mine. So I fired my boss and he was in shock. Yes, Dennis, we're going to give you more work to do and don't worry about it. We'll give you extra time. I said, oh, I ain't worried about it. I quit. He didn't know what to do. He just sat there with his dumb look on his face like, can we offer you more money? No, you can't. You don't pay enough. I make more than what you're paying me for 15 minutes a day versus 20 hours a day. So I walked away. And then I started teaching people how to walk away. That job ain't doing nothing but holding you back. There's plenty. I mean, since then, Dr. Jackie Mack, Guatemala, Kenya, right? You've been to Kenya? Was it Kenya? Or I want to make sure I'm saying the right country. Dr. Mack.
Were you talking about for me?
I mean, Mack, I'm sorry, I keep calling you Dr. Mack. Mack, wasn't it Kenya?
You mean where I was?
Yeah, where the places you've been.
Oh, like Ethiopia, Rwanda, Congo.
The Congo. And then I've been to Thailand and Dubai and Vietnam and Spain and Italy. And Dr. Jackie, we've been to all these places, Brussels, right?
Yes.
I mean, and that's, you can't do that while you're working. Well, you can, but then you're going to spend a week there. Well, every year, and it's all about this a different life out there. It's not just for the rich and famous. It's for those who understand how money works. And if the T word is the same as the F word, you're in trouble.
Yeah. I can't, honestly, I can't even imagine going back to the system. I've been free now for 2 years. And for the first time in my life, I mean, I'm literally doing everything that I've wanted to do over the past 40 some years of my professional career. And to be able to, right now, I'm sitting here talking to you guys and I'm in Guatemala. I plan on being in Nepal next year, along with Rwanda. Money has not been the issue any longer. And because of the access to money, it has actually purchased my freedom. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. Even hanging out with you is exactly what I want to do. I spend most of my time, if I'm not dealing with things related to nonprofit efforts, I'm on programs like this. I have another one that is more, Christ-centered, those kind of things. But the fact of the matter is that I'm living the dream, and all I ever wanted was for other people to just come along and just live this thing with me. And it still ends up coming to that word, which seems to be the key word today, is trust.
But there's a saying that I've lived by since I learned it from Jim Rohn, and I hope I'm quoting the right person. Because a lot of times,
is that the football dude, the sports guy?
No, was a motivational speaker.
Oh, okay.
Jim Rohn, not Jim Thorpe. Jim Rohn.
Stop it.
He said, and I think I think it's a Bible verse. But it was, if you find a way to help the masses of people out of their problems, then your problems will dissipate. They never go away, but they will dissipate. And I think you have to tell me, Mac, is that a Bible verse? I think it's ultimately it's a Bible verse, but Jim Rohn used to say that all the time before he decided to transition. Well, I don't think he decided to transition till he transitioned. And, you know, when you start reading books like Think and Grow Rich, or the Jim Rohn series, or Jordan Peterson, or some of these people that are out here with, let's call them self-help books, Robert Kiyosaki, you know, you take that part that fits you, your personality, or it's okay to stay where you are. It's okay. That's what I tell, you know, I was just telling Mac that I'll tell my friends twice, then I don't say anything anymore. You know, if they call me and ask me, I'll tell them I don't work anymore. I take care, you know, I do my thing. And what I mean by work, just so I can define it better, is I don't do things under someone else's control. So I don't have a boss. Well, everybody has a boss, but I don't have a boss that's in charge of my financial future. I am in charge of my financial future. And I like to give that peace of mind to other people. You know, you can set your goal, you know, whatever your goal is, you know, it's really quite easy to get there if you can let go of some of the things we've been trained and taught as children that aren't true. There is no Easter bunny. No, storks don't bring babies. Even now, we are financial slaves. And you just have to break out, relax, learn the systems that are in place, and do what they do. You don't have to do what I do. You don't have to do what Mac does. You don't have to do what Dr. Jackie does, except for you got to look cute like her. but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break that. But you know, it's just all a matter of education. I'm sorry, trust ain't nothing but education. You get educated. You got on a date, you're educating yourself. And she or he are educating themselves. Do I want this person in my life? I've done so many things. It's funny. Like Dr. Jackie was trying to tell me something one day. We were in this company. And I said, I don't know why they don't believe what I say. Everything that they talked about in our meetings, I had already done. But they didn't want to go for experience. They wanted to go for what the book said. You understand what I just said? Book knowledge versus practical. I think that's how they called it. So every time they would say something, I say, no, that's not true. This is how it works. Oh, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Really? I done been through this. You know, I've been through it. I said, it is how it works. I said, okay, if you're not going to teach me something different, you're not going to reteach me something I already know. Hey, Dr. Jackie.
You kind of got us dumbfounded. So
spellbound. That's what I like to say.
Oh, is it spellbound? Oh, okay. Okay, we can say
the problem is, ladies and gentlemen, is I talk to Dr. Jackie and Mac all the time. You know, we converse all the time. So they heard all this stuff. So they're like,
we just felt like you needed your moment, man.
I agree with you, Mac. We just letting him have it.
Well, it's our moment.
No, this one is your moment.
I don't like silence, man. It's too quiet, you know? I was talking to my mailman one day, and I said, hey, how long do you plan on being a mailman? If you know any mail delivery people, man, they need more come-ups than the police officers, because that's a tough job. They treat all of them bad. I don't know how they do that job and get treated so bad at work and nobody has their back. That's crazy. I have family members that are mail personnel and you're like, how you put up with that crap? I don't get it. You don't have to. Let me help you out of this. And then they deliver mail the next day. I'm like, okay, you know, I can help you retire in maybe 6 months, maybe 9 months. It took me, well, it didn't take me 9 months this time. The first time it only took me a couple months, but you got to have seed money. If you don't have seed money, it takes a little longer. But I'm sitting there talking to this gentleman. And then I said, you know, every male person I've talked to across the country and the East Coast, they all say the same thing. How can one business treat all their employees so bad and yet they don't want to leave? It's mindset. You know, why do you need a supervisor? You know, when you have to go to the bathroom. Of course, there are those people who need supervisors. There are those people who need supervisors. The job I had, you know, we had to do everything on our own. We had to order our own parts. We had to deal with our own customers. We had to set up schedules, everything. It was crazy, but it taught me a lot of things about business. They don't need you. I don't care how important you think you are. There's always a secretary that can take your job, unless it's physical. So I had a physical, mental, emotional job, and it was wrecking my body. So I had to find a way out. So I called Dr. Jackie up one day, said, hey, this job is killing me. They're paying me a lot of money. You know, to me, it was a lot of money. $200,000 a year was a great piece of change, let me tell you. But it's not worth what happens to your body. So the three of us got together and we formed Fuel to help people. You know, it's like, okay, you hear from three different directions, from a minister, from musicians, from a doctor, from just a guy who's been through some stuff. In some kind of way, we hope that we can say something or deliver some information that can help you out of this, help you change the direction of your life, the course of your universe. You are in charge, you know? You are the person that can make a change, you know? Hey, Mac, say something.
No, I was just going to say that don't shortchange yourself because you're an engineering professional before.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I want to make sure that
for 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I forgot.
And I think that, yeah, I just think that, you know, what the beauty of Fuel is that we take our experiences in what were our former careers, and we just take the best of those things and we bring it together for financial education, for financial illumination, like people can like maybe see a bigger picture maybe for the first time in their lives, because quite frankly, they don't teach this stuff in school. You don't get it in college, you know, and even those people that do financial seminars and things like that, they don't always cover the topic from a realistic humanitarian point of view.
And I agree. When you look at our platform, this one is more of a feeling thing versus concepts that we were presenting to you. But at the same time, trust and just the whole idea of getting educated in this and your mindset are important things to talk about. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the mindset of the worker bee. And the worker bee feels that the only way they can make it is to have the job and do whatever they're told to do in that job, because the end is defined by somebody else. And so for them, they only look at the money they're getting out of it, but not any satisfaction. There so many times when we talk to people, we ask about how they like their job and they don't like their job. And it's not that they just started today at the asking, but for a long time. They may have in the beginning, but some people have been in jobs they just did not like forever. And they get promoted in that job and they still don't like it. and they don't feel comfortable moving. Sometimes they will move to another job, but sometimes they just stay in that job because, well, I'll get this next advancement and maybe the things around me will change. It's a mindset. And we then talk about that, the job worker and the entrepreneur. And two different mindsets may not flow in the same person. But what we hope is that we can set up an environment where you can think about other options for yourself, that you can still work a job and take on something that you like that may turn into a business that you like, or turn into some other way to bring money into your environment, but it doesn't have to be the job where somebody's telling you what to do and when to go to the bathroom and etc. So trust is part of that mindset. And so you could look at just us looking at what mindset do you have as it relates to your finances, as it relates to your openness to do other things with your life, job-wise, with your money, with your ability to embrace other avenues. It's a mindset. So.
And that's the hardest thing to change.
Yeah, it is.
You know, when I was growing up, I had one of those super quick tempers. It took me a second to get straight from calm to angry. But in the neighborhood I lived in, straight to calm to angry got you shot. I grew up in Philadelphia in the projects. And there's one way to learn how to be calm is to be faced with death all the time. So I knew I had to learn how to be calm, because I've seen people, I've seen some bad things from people who had quicker tempers than me. And what does this have to do with trust and all that kind of stuff? Because I changed my whole being, and now people think I'm a pushover, nice guy, whatever the words are. They look at you, oh, you're this, you're that. And boy, if you only knew the truth. But I don't let people know that side of me as much as I can. You know, every now and then it slips out. But I've been a long time away from Philadelphia. But growing up was tough, you know, because when you wear glasses, you don't want to get in a fight. Because soon as your glasses are gone, it's you against 900 people, and you're swinging and missing most of them. But you know, I learned how to fight without glasses, and you know, but I realized I don't want to be a boxer. I don't want to be a fighter. I don't want to know how to. Well, I know how to shoot guns now, but I didn't want to know how to shoot guns back then. You know, of course, there was they called the. Well, we didn't call it the ghetto. I think that's a term that Europeans called it. We just called it home. And, you know, and it was our home against somebody else's home. So we had to make guns. But throughout that, I realized that there was a bigger world. And my little neighborhood was just a part of a part of a part of a part of a part. So I started doing transcendental meditation and karates and the kung fu's, everything I could do to start learning how to control my emotions, how to control my anger, and how to think my way out of situations. You know, because one time at a party, got jumped by these guys from another neighborhood. I think most of my friends got beat up, but me, I talked my way out and then ran my way home. You know, if you're John Wayne, you might say, oh, he's a punk. But there's an old a Chinese saying that you live to fight another day. So most of my friends from when I grew up are dead. And, you know, I've seen a couple of them leave this earth through the hands of friends, neighbors, and police officers. I didn't want to be one of them. So I changed I trusted me. And I trusted other systems because there are plenty of systems out there. There's a system to learn how to play piano. There's a system to learn how to sing. It don't work for me. But there are systems out there that can allow you. I mean, just these computers, you know, we grew up, we didn't have telephones and computers and big screen color TVs and Xboxes. We had none of that. We had friends. We didn't stay in the house, but it's all about change and adjusting. You know, you can become an adult at any age, but you have to stay an adult after you cross that barrier. Now you're an adult. You got to stop thinking like a child and change your own life. You know, and sometimes it seems impossible because of your surroundings, but I grew up in the projects of Philadelphia, ended up in college for engineering. Who would have ever guessed that? You know, my education was fighting to get to school, fighting to get back home, and running faster than Usain Bolt. You'd be surprised at things you learn. And then I won a scholarship to a private school in Jenkintown, Pennsylvania. And I saw a whole different life because those rich kids were coming to school in limousines. And I'm like, wow. Only time I saw a limousine was on Starsky and Hutch. Here I see them every day. And then I would walk home to the train and take the train back to Philadelphia. And I said, okay, try to talk to my friends. No, they wanted to go out fighting and shooting and all that. And I said, well, I'm going to college. So I set my head into going to college because change was the thing I adopted, you know, and that's how I met Mac. I was in college and working. And we worked at this company who scripted everything we said.
Yes.
And I still remember the script 45 years later. And if I said it to Mac, he would pick up his phone and say, hello, hello.
Yes, yes.
You know,
Hey, look, hey, Dennis, I can appreciate that, but I see your point, but
He's like,
Mr. Jones, I can understand why you feel that way. However,
if you like it, would you buy it? And if you buy it, would you be interested in other books in the series?
yes, we can take
next
you out
week.
to the old Wild West. We can show you Wyatt Earp.
I did that for 2 years while I was in college. It didn't help me get a date though.
Yeah.
But you know, that's how things go. I had no idea that Mac, of all the people I met at that job, would be the one I would still be in touch with. But my best friend who got me there is still best friends with both of us.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Life is just weird. And then I decided to renew my love for music and start playing drums again. And my first gig was at a church. And I didn't know the musicians got paid until the secretary handed me a check. And I was sitting there like, what's this? And then the preacher came and took it out of my hand. I'm sitting there like, what was that? You know, I was like, wait a minute. She gave me a check. Wait a minute, that's man giveth and man taketh away. So he took it away, and now I'm like, what was that? So then I went from that place to another place, and then I met Dr. Jackie when her church choir came to my church, and their music director said, can you come play with us? But I'm still playing here. And let me tell you, talking about trust, love, and respect, they started paying me, and I had never been to their church. Mac, they started paying me, and I had never been to their church. And I'm sitting there like, who are these people paying me? And I had never played for them, but that one time in my church that I didn't, I was like, okay, I don't even know who to send this money back to, but they trusted me. So when I was free, I would go play for them. And then we did the Black Family Reunion down on the Washington Mall and got a recording contract or something, and we recorded some CDs. And I'm like, wow, this church is hopping mad. So it was all about trust, which led me to Dr. Jackie, and we have been friends ever since. And then Mac, we all have things in our lives that allow us to change. And it's funny, when Mac and I started really, really talking again after I don't know how many years, we found out we was pretty much doing the same thing, playing in this church, playing in that church, moving here, moving there. But we had one connection that remained and remains solid. And that is our friend who's not on this call. So here we go. Friends begat friends through trust.
Thank you for joining us for part 1 of Trust Issues. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Fueling Future Generations, and also reach out to us directly at fuelingfuturegenerations2020@gmail.com. We'll see you the next time.